Good morning. We're live. I'm back. I have been thinking a lot about this project. Changing my mind as we get closer towards the final details and designs. What, Bruno? Anyways, got Danda's junk here. Cough, cough, good morning. Feel better? 45th Clown, hello, I'm here in time today. Welcome. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are at, but welcome. We are on today 14 of working on this project. My consolation is that I know if I didn't live stream and I just crunched, I could have this done in one night. Not con crunch like where I feel like it's going to be all, but you know what I mean. Because as soon as the cameras are off, the projects that seem like they're going to take forever are just done in like a few minutes, which is nice. Bruno, are you just going to sit here and whine the whole time? Yeah? Yeah, go hang out with Toby. Okay, we are here. We are ready. What are we doing today? So I was thinking about it. For this lady right here, she's pretty much done with the exception of the skirt. I really have to do the skirt, and I have it over there taunting me because I could be done with it if I just did a simple circle cone skirt. I'm the one who wanted to swirl it. So, and I really, really like the swirl design. The pattern is fun. I want it in velvet, so it has to happen. So that's why I'm just kind of taking a break for a second on this one. This bodice needs its closures, and I wanted to belt it, and I want to give it like a yellow belt, like a contrasting belt. And then I also wanted to make a mini skirt, a kind of less is more skirt for this one. Yeah. So it can either be tucked in or the skirt can be belted and peplumed. So that's what I kind of want to work on today, is patterning that out. I have my measurements so I can double check them. Just had it up a second ago. Of course, it's not there anymore. It's a screenshot. Here it is. Okay. Okay, let me write these down so I have them. Okay, I have a starting spot. Okay, let me get this out of the way. I have paper. It's bright and white, but I can pattern on it. I'm going to put this. Good question, 45th Clown. Do you have a color in mind for the mini skirt? You said yellow for the belt. I'm going to do the same blue. The skirt for this one's going to be pink, so I figured the skirt for this one could be blue. I was considering doing like a short or just a brief, but I'm going to go with the mini skirt for the moment because it's the beginning of both of those patterns anyways, and I can decide if I like it from there. Because I have options. I have plenty, knock on wood, blue fabric, this is not wood, for a mini skirt, and I'm not doing any circle skirts out of that. So yeah, I have some math to do. So I have a hip measurement and a waist measurement, but I need a length measurement and a waist to hip measurement. And I'm not going to get those from this person, but I can do a rough estimate and kind of go from there. because this is at the waist. If we go to, actually, this mannequin right here has the lines actually on her. I can measure these specific lines. Ah! I need your waist. That's funny. That's what I thought it was going to be. Okay. Oh no, it's melting. I took the pin out. I was holding it all together. Every time I stab this mannequin with a pin, I'm grateful that it's not a voodoo doll. Big Bob's Props is here. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Not top. Is this outfit for a performance or just a photo shoot? It is for a photo shoot. But yeah, you could totally dance in it and it would be fun. I like that we are kind of in the age of photography and videography. Like, I think things in 3D and in motion are great. Like, a stagnant still picture is amazing, but anyways, it's going to be art is what it's going to be. It's going to go to a photo shoot. There's a model and a photographer and everybody's already set up. So they're just kind of waiting on me now. The wonderful songs of the oldies music says, hi, Dan and Felicia and everyone else. I'm sorry I missed a couple streams, 2 days. Well, welcome. The wonderful songs of the oldies music. Love your username. It's making me laugh right now. I want a bigger ruler than this. Here we go. This one. All right. So the velvet that we are using for the blue one is a stretch velvet. The pink and yellow are a very lovely, dense, actual velveteen kind of like the real stuff, which is really nice and high quality and a pain in the ass to sew. I mean, anyways, let's be real. It has its own special needs, but all fabrics do. But this fabric is a stretchy fabric. It is not a true 4-way stretch because there is more stretch in the width direction than the length direction of the knit, which you have to keep in mind when you're cutting out fabrics. I have something in my eye. It's okay, we're just live. If I start crying. Anyways, so we're gonna factor the stretch into our calculations of what we're going to do. And then I only want to do one seam, and I know that might be kind of funky looking in the end. So I might break down and do 2 or 3 seams, but I'm going to start patterning it for 1 seam, and then we'll kind of go from there. I'll change my mind as we go. But I'm going to do it at the true waist, at the natural waist, and then at the, I'm going to go about 8 inches down for the hip. Okay, maybe 7 or 8 inches down for the hip. The wonderful songs of the oldies music. Sorry, it's me, Austin. I'm using a different channel. It's me, Austin Lips. Well, welcome, Austin Lips, but I'm still enjoying saying your name. And DJ Stumpy's here. Hi, everybody. So, math. Stretchy fabric. We have our length and width measurements. We're going to pattern this on a fold, so we're going to divide the numbers into quarters in a moment. But before we divide them into the quarters, I want to add on negative ease. So I need to subtract ease. What is ease? Ease is the difference between ability. Negative ease means that it is less than the measurements of your body, so it is skin tight, and it is with knits and corsetry and stuff like that. You do tend to work with the negative eases. And so I'm going to do about a 3-inch negative ease because I find that that's a really good number to start with knits. More than that can be a bit excessive unless it's super stretchy, but then this isn't like one of those, oh, eyeball is still, gotta scratch my eyeball. So 3 inches is a really good starting point for knits in negative ease. 3 inches is a really good starting point in positive ease on non-stretchy fabric. So if you need to take a garment and have it not be exactly skin tight and have a little bit of breathing room, start with 3 inches of positive ease. I start with 3 inches of negative ease on a tight fitting knit garment. And then if it's like a super stretchy or elastic, I tend to do a 6-inch negative ease for the elastic in general, because there is scientific ways to figure this out where you stretch the fabric and test the recovery. But as a general, that's a good starting point from a lot of various fabrics. So I am going, there's no negative ease in the length measurements because although we bend and move in that direction too, there's not so much stretch. We're just going to do them at the measurements plus seam allowance plus hem. So let me lay out a grain line. Let me see. Should I cut this out on the fold? I'm going to cut this out on the fold so I kind of know what it looks like. So I'm going to fold my paper up. And this is just butcher's paper. I got it for Christmas, like, oh my gosh, 10 years ago now? Jeez, it's not. Anyways, I am still not even halfway through the roll, and I pattern a lot, and I use this all the time. I like pattern paper better, but I'm just saying, this has lasted me and is really good, just construction paper in general. Okay, so I have a fold here, and so this is going to be my guideline. I am going to darken it so you guys can kind of see what I'm working with. Yep. That doesn't feel straight. Okay. I am going to mark out where my waist is going to be. Here are my measurements. Waist is -3 equals divided by 4. Calculator. Just want to double check my math because I'd rather do it on a calculator even though I just did it in my head. Because I go through the muscle memories of click, 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 click. Those numbers look right, and then I move on, and it is a double check I do myself, okay? $5.5. And then after I have that number, so I have my waist measurement -3. So I take it away from the whole circumference. I take away the 3 inches of the negative ease. Then I divide that measurement into quarters, so because I'm going to be working with a quarter of a pattern. And then I take that number and then I add on my seam allowance. There's all sorts of different ways to do that math, but that's how mechanically it works for me. I figure out the total circumference, take out the total negative ease. Then I take that number and I chunk it down into my quarters. And then once I'm at my quarters or whatever, if I'm doing it in 1/6 or in halves or wherever, how many seams I'm going to have, when I get it down to that number, then I add my seam allowance onto each individual piece. So I don't calculate that into my calculations, even though people do add their seam allowances into their calculations. It gets added in there eventually. Okay, let me get some lines down. and then I will read all the comments. Okay, so I have my waistline. I'm going to line up my ruler so it's as perpendicular as I possibly can. And then I'm going to go, what was my answer? I hate this ruler. This ruler has like all the numbers rubbed off. It's just not my favorite ruler. Okay, let's try it better with my janky favorite ruler. Ah. All right, and then I'm going to measure down 8 inches. No. I want a full inch of seam allowance on the top of the waist because I want the option to make a casing for elastic. Because it's a stretch and it's going to be a mini skirt, I don't think I'm necessarily going to need the elastic. But I do want to do an inch for a casing. And then if I needed to, I can add elastic in there. So let me go down 1.5 inches from that mark. Then I so that's going to be my casing. And then so this is my waist. This is my technically seam allowance right here. So this is my waist. This is my seam allowance. So this will get folded under. And so from my waistline, I'm going to measure down 8 inches. 7.5 is probably more accurate, but I find that when working with models, they have very long features. So I'll just err on the longer side because I can always shorten things, but I can't lengthen things as easy. Okay. Oh, Danda's junk is feeling worse than yesterday. Got some of the con bud or con crud. Ugh, that sucks. Austin Lips, much better than wonderful songs of the oldies music. That's my YouTube channel. I did old songs and I sing them there and some goofy stuff, but I think I am burnt out. Interesting that you use that word. I'm noticing that a lot of creators are talking about burnout right now, like even within my sphere of friends. Like, it is not easy putting yourself out there every day, and I can completely understand the burnout that is involved. So take care of yourself. Big Bad Wolf Custom Airbrushing and Decals. Just noticed that your makeup complements your blouse. I just needed the strawberry blouse today. I'm just feeling strawberries. There's no way around it. I had to do it. So thank you. I like this shirt. Not top. Do you have a preference for glass versus wood top table for working on these projects? I love glass tables. At the, geez Louise, where I cut out the wedding dresses, the studio, sorry. We have like countertops, like the vinyl countertops, white ones, and also a black piece that we can roll out for our poor eyeballs' sake for certain laces and fabrics. And that's a good surface. Wood tends to have a lot of pitting and unevennesses, which glass doesn't. But what I really like about glass is when I need to see through, I can just shine my light. I have a shortcut for this too, but there it is. Up under here, and I can see through my pattern, and it's a light box, and I absolutely love working with it with a glass table. I know it's weird. I never would have. I can turn this off. I would have never thought to get a glass table because who would? But I got this table for my sewing desk because this arm thing goes out, and I really liked the space, and it was. I absolutely love this thing so much. My mother even stole this from me because she liked working on it, but then she got a better one and she's like, oh, you want your old one back? I'm like, yes, I do. So this table, it has a frosted glass, which is even better for the light table effect. Don't worry, we're just live. But then my little brother found this one at off Craigslist or whatever, and he's like, do you want it? And I'm like, yes, I do. And so I had to like replace, this got stolen as a dining room table because it's a long, big table that fits people and it's comfortable and it doesn't take up visual space, but I had to steal it back, replace my dining room table because I absolutely love working on a glass tabletop. Yes, it's more dangerous. Yes, there's a lot of things. No, you can't hammer on it. You can't. If I need to hammer, I need to go elsewhere to do that. But actually patterning, taping things, gluing things to the surface, I prefer the glass tabletop. This is why it takes me forever to get anything done. I can't think and craft at the same time. This is parallel, this is parallel, as straight as we can. And the hip measurement, let me map it out on my calculator. DJ Stumpy, what's a good sewing guidebook for a newbie like myself? And does ginger wine is good for bugs and sore throats. My papa and nan swore by it. Well, they were sober enough. Any Vogue sewing book. Vogue has, so each pattern brand has their own sewing books and stuff, but Vogue, from the 1950s version, 60s versions, 70s versions, 80s versions, 90s versions, modern versions, they go through the basic techniques of how to do everything. It is like a sewer Bible kind of a thing. It's a reference material. It is a great place. How do I put in a pocket? Like all the sewing brands tend to have their brands, have a how to sew book in general. Like there's a simplicity one, and I've owned a lot of them. I really do have. But if you go and you find a Vogue one, like I had one from like 1972, the information is the same. It's just whether you have retro or vintage or completely crazy, depending on which year you get a Vogue sewing book, but it's all the same information and it's presented in a very good way. So, and the older versions are cheaper. The newer versions are more expensive. So, yeah, that is what I highly recommend because it tells you like how to attach a button using sewing machine, hand needle. It tells you everything. I look through them and I feel like but if I'm stumped, that is the place to go for reference material is Vogue sewing book. Good for beginners and seasoned people alike. Oh, Big Bad Wolf custom airbrushing and details. Great. Now I want some strawberries and cream. Only problem is fresh strawberries are in short supply here in Canada. Best picked fresh, LOL. Yeah, I'm spoiled. We are in Sacramento, California. Our current slogan, it used to be the City of Trees, is now the farm to fork capital of the world. So we have really good fresh produce at our dollar store. Like I really can't complain. Dan does junk. I use a flimsy plastic folding table on risers and nice and wobbly. I feel you. I work on the floor all the time. I get it. DJ Stumpy, they wanted to start weighing people at strawberry farms near myself, the UK, as people would have 2 in the mouth and 1 in the puntet. Strawberries are good. Back to math. Okay, calculator, hip measurement. round it up. Minus 3, because we're still doing the 3 inches of negative ease, divided by 4 equals 8.25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. .25. There we go. Okay. I have a fancy hip curve right there. It should be in there in my fancy ruler kit with all my really nice rulers, but it just was used recently, so it's right over there. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah. Austin looks, that dress is looking really good now, Felicia. Oh, it's kind of falling apart. We're getting there. We are definitely getting there. Let me grab my hip curve ruler. Hip curve ruler. Curve. It's pretty spot on. Not bad, right? So I am going to throw things again because that's what I do. But I am going to ignore this up here, start down here, and curve my hip. What was the total length that I wanted to do? Yeah, I'll just do to the bottom of the paper because I can always shorten a skirt. I'm just gonna. And add seam allowance. I'm going to use this pretty purple one for the seam allowance because it is very visually obvious where the seam allowance is on it. Okay. There's going to be 2 seams on this one. I think it's just going to be easier that way. Before I start cutting it out of the fabric, I am going to cut it, pattern the belt. Might as well while I'm still here. I don't need a pattern belt. I'm going to do a rectangle. I'm not going to add a curve to it. My plan for the belt is I plan on making a circular belt buckle out of the heaviest cardstock I have, maybe do a couple layers, and then covering it in the velvet and using that to draw the velvet through. So yes, I guess we can move on to cutting out the skirt out of the velvet. I don't need these anymore. I'll just put them here so I have the numbers nearby. Okay. Get out of the way. That goes in the scrap bin. And clear enough for fabric. Okay. All right, we are going stretch velvet. I love how Bruno is all tucked up in that little blanket. He's so cold. Okay. Let me orient myself. Where are we on this fabric? Okay, this is the selvage edge. You can tell because it has this little stripy print on the edges. So that's my length. Yeah, it's definitely more stretchy this way than it is this way. It has a little bit of stretch, but not as much as compared to this way. So. I need to cut 2 of these out. Can I get one out over here? Don't let your fabric hang off the table when you're cutting it. Just don't. Oh, I can just lay this out flat and see if it's even going to fit. Yeah, it'll fit here fine. Okay. And flat. No, I'm not trying to be wasteful, but I don't want to work on this end. I just want to work with a straight end. Use the other side. Fold it in half and just cut out 2 or 4 all at the same time because I have my super duper scissors. Yeah, I'm going to count them all out at the same time as opposed to trying to piece them in there. Screw that. Move this computer back so I have a little more space. And am relying on this edge being straight cut, and it's not. Okay, if I move it there, that's where it's straight. Straight? What are you talking about? The grid of the fabric, whether it's going to fight me the whole time or not. The straighter I lay out the fabric when I cut it, the easier the whole process will be down the line. Okay. All right. I can feel right here that it's not all lined up straight. It's about an inch off. But this is all lined up straight of grain on the grid. Let me get a couple pattern weights. Get my super duper scissors. I love these things. Dan does jug. Oh, I might have to go home early. My head is throbbing. I thought it was getting better. Take care of yourself, Dan. You know yourself. You gotta go home. Drive safely. Yes, everybody. Dan, drive safely. Look at the amount of fuzz on my scissors. This dust is real. Oh, makes me sick. Anyways. Okay, now I have skirts. This is slightly off at the top because I didn't go over quite enough. It's not the end of the world. I can keep going. Moving everything around on me. All right, let me pin these together. And I am going to do this on the sewing machine because although the velvet is a little hard to sew, I think this should just be fine. I'm going to use the stretch stitch. Yeah. And if I need to, I can cut this out. It's not like I don't have enough of the blue fabric. Okay. Ow! Ah, blue bobbin. All right. I'm gonna use at least blue thread today. Oh no, that's stuck. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm going to suffer the consequences of doing this later. It's okay. Okay. I'm going to use stitch 39. DJ Stumpy, for the time for some bad language, I've just used my fabric scissors to cut paper. I feel you. I feel you. Now don't make a habit of it. I'm going to start on the janky side just because. Let me loosen up the tension just a little bit and increase the stitch length just a tid. But yeah, this is sewing so much easier than this velvet. So much easier. I don't know why people complain about sewing with stretch knits. They are my favorite thing to sew with. Yes, they have their own little tricky special needs, but all fabrics do. Dan does junk. How much do you trust those handheld sewing machines? Okay, so those handheld sewing machines remind me of the things that they use to close dog food bags, because it's the loop where you push the loop through, and it's the most basic kind of chain stitch. So it works, but you pull the thread and go, and it pulls them all out. I tried buying them. I tried using them. They're just not, like, they're not the worst. Like, I've had like a hand generated one where you just squoze it and it did those loop stitches. And there are places where it does work, but also in those same places you can use a tagging gun with short things and just, so they haven't been a useful enough tool to keep on my radar. Like, I can just get in with a hand needle and just stitch things easier than pulling those out in general. And sewing machines make everything go faster. So yeah, they're not the worst in concept, but they really aren't as practical as I want them to be. Yeah, that's my opinion on them. Austin Lips, just wondering, is You and Odin going live this Sunday? I plan on it as of right now. Dan was invited to that one, but he doesn't seem to be feeling very well, so we won't Take care of yourself, Dan. But yes, as of right now, we are planning on going live. I haven't checked in with Odin or talked to him all week, so haven't changed plans as far as we know, as I know. So yes, plan on going live on Sunday over on the Odin Makes channel. Yeah, and we'll be working on the Ghostbusters proton packs. And we are working on the neutrino one, getting just the bells and whistles on before we start doing electronics. So join us for that. It should be fun. Ah! Okay. Let me guide. Okay, so what happened? There wasn't enough fabric on the feed dogs to finish pushing it through. It was just pushing more and more into where my needle was. So when you start sewing, holding the threads as you go can help prevent that. But that's what's happening. Remember when I said that's going to bite me in the butt, but oh well. Yep. Okay. It's always just the last little bit. It's okay. It's a straight line. There we go. And this is a stretch stitch, so it stretches. And hopefully won't split when not bad. Now, I'm really disappointed that I didn't double check that I was far enough down on my fabric fold. But I still have my marks and I can still fold it to where it needs to be. And I am just going to abstract stitch this around the waistline for now. 16, right? Okay. Let me pin this because I will like my life better if I do. Okay. All right, let me throw this up on the dress form so I can get an idea of what this is going to look like / fit like. It's okay, I can do this. Can't lend a hand, but I can lend an arm. All right, come here, Barbie. This is not one that goes over the head. This is definitely one that you step into, but the way this mannequin is rigged, that is just not going to happen right now. Now I can make whatever adjustments I need to make. The waistline. I think I need to come a little. Now where do I want to hem it? Yeah, right about here. Okay. And that is how the hemline's even, so I can just measure all the way around and mark my hemline of where I want it to be if I had my ruler that I put away. Okay, DJ Stumpy, looking back at the Wonder Woman costume you did with Odin, is there anything different you would do now to when you made it? I really like the accessories. They have held up very well. I have the belt right over there. I've used it for several looks, more than just Wonder Woman. I really like the belt. I even like the gauntlets, and I like all the accessories. The one thing that I would change is the briefs. I bought a pair of really good high-waisted, janky fabric, but it's gorgeous fabric. Briefs I ordered off Amazon, and I put the foam stickers stars on them. And although it had the right look, there's no washing that. There is no like multiple wears out of that. They're destroyed. So foam stars looks amazing and it pops and is great, but that metallic leotard fabric is just, it doesn't survive washing. And that with the foam stickers on it, I have it and it's still like, I've spot cleaned it and stars have fallen off. So that's what I would change. I would not do it that way. I would just buy the briefs printed with the stars and let it be and not have to worry about putting stars on it myself. Or I would do an actual, make my own briefs and then do either embroidered stars or patches, but then they wouldn't stretch. So I'd have to make sure that I patterned it for non-stretch fabric, even though I like the comfortability of the stretch. So I would just order them the right ones since I ordered it anyways, I might as well just order the ones with the stars printed on it. That's what I would do differently. Whole rest of it I liked. You know, I can switch out the bodices. I have one bodice just fit Joe better and one fit me better, and then I have all sorts of different red tops that work with it. It's the but the briefs, the star briefs, that's what I would change. All right, let me turn this inside out. So this is where it got wonky. And that's okay. I knew that was. How much is that? Okay. Pin this in place. I'm just stabbing the one underneath it. That one. Now let me double check that that's even at the right measurement now. No, it's not. Okay. So the waistband on this skirt I know will not be seen, but the hem more than likely will be seen. And I want it to be kind of invisible. But I really don't want to do any of the hem stitches. I think it'll go way faster if I just do it by hand. It'll take 2 seconds. I say that, but then I'm live and it never does. It's okay. Okay. You know, it's been an hour, but I actually am going to have a skirt completely finished by the end of this stream, which is nice. It's okay. I say that now, and now I can't thread a needle. It's all right, I'm just live. Oh, there we go. Yay, I did it. Okay. Start at the seam allowance. Hide mine. This is why you lock your stitches in place, because there is a knot at the end of that, but it just pulled straight through. How do you lock your stitches in place? Take 2 or 3 stitches all in one spot. That way, when you pull on it, it doesn't come undone. That is a very good question, the 45th clown. How close does a thread need to match the material? Well, depends if it's even going to be seen. Like, sometimes it doesn't matter at all, but other times it completely matters. Err on the side of darker. So if you put a thread on your fabric and it's slightly darker and there's a slightly lighter one, but neither of them are quite the right shade, err for the side of the darker. It's going to blend in and disappear way easier than the bright one. I am hemming this, so ever so slightly, just a little bit might show on the front. So this should match fairly well. I wouldn't say this is like the exact color match of anything, but it's not bad. I just don't want it to pull funny. There are all sorts of fancy ways to do this. I feel like this is the fancy way, the fanciest, because it's hand sewn, but it's also the easiest to control when you're trying to make it invisible on the front. Because I could do any stitch would become visible. See, you can see there's a stitch here, even though this one disappears probably the best. This velvet, you'll probably see my lines of stab stitches as you go along. Let me do a little section, see if it's worth it. If it's worth it, I'll do it by hand. If it's not worth it, and I'm going to see stitches anyways, I'm just going to throw it through the sewing machine and then I'll be done. Let me see. It looks all right. Honestly, I think it'll look better than if I use a sewing machine. Fine, I will hand stitch it. Schultz Division's here. Hello, Schultz Division. Welcome. Yeah, I just made a mini skirt and now I'm just wanting to hem it through the sewing machine, but also don't want the stitching line. I don't want to see it. I don't. Just going to do this. See if I can get it. My thread's already twisted. Will I make it halfway through and then decide to use a sewing machine? Too much. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a little teeny tiny bit from the front, just the back threads of it, and then a big old bite from my folded up fabric. I say that and then I didn't do it. And I'm just kind of whip stitching it all the way down, making sure that I'm not pulling too tight because it still needs to stretch and fit and move and be functional. And then the stitches need to be close enough together that you don't accidentally stick your toe or your heel into the hem. I'm starting to get off. Yes, I am. Really am. Okay. little bite from there and a big bite from there. If it was just a big bite from both, it'd be easy. But you have to try and only get the back sides of the fibers, because then when you see it on the front, you don't see where I'm stitching. But if you really can't see where I'm stitching, it's right here. It's along this line. Yeah. It's working. Okay. Okay. So, how is everybody's day going? It's Friday. It is sunny where I'm at. The weather is lovely. It's not quite swimming weather, but I'm getting there. Definitely feeling. Yeah. So there's a way to do this on the sewing machine where you feed it through the machine like this so that it sews stitches and then it takes a little bite and then stitches and takes a little bite. And although it works great and is the same concept as to what I'm doing, I don't want to struggle with that while I'm live because you have to really like hold it where it needs to go in order to. All right, make sure I'm still good. And I don't think I have that kind of concentration. If I can't finagle a serger live, there's no way I can. That would require a lot of pins and concentration. Not that much, but it's more than I can afford. I can barely talk and sew at the same time. Oh, Big Bob's props, it's raining all day. Well, I hope you guys need the rain because rain is always a good thing, but yeah, I'm a little over the rain at the moment. Listen, Austin lives. Good, I'm good. That's nice. How's your day going today, Felicia? My day is going very well. I am making progress on this project. And it's almost the weekend. I have plans. So, all in all, can't complain. Not top, it's cloudy and cool here in Ohio. A good day to do my taxes. I just got mine done yesterday. Nothing like the, tax day coming up. I was proud of myself that I didn't wait till the day before tax day. So, yeah. I'm starting to catch up with my little offness. It's okay. I got this. Oh, my seam's flat. There we go. Yeah. Schultz Division, rainy, sunny, icy, rainy again, and sunny. What the heck is going on? Global warming. No, I don't know. It is what it is. The other day, it was like somebody was asking how come like we've had like a record rain river over California, and I was like, and somebody was like, it's because I asked for more rain, and that's why we got it all of a sudden. It was all my fault. But But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying the fact that I have a break from that at the moment. Ah, lay flat, and it's not. It's this pin. There we go. 45th clown. Weather has been miserable in London, but chilly. Work is done, and the weekend is here. Nice. You know, I feel like I've been playing way too much Valheim lately, because on the rainy days is the days now that I want to stay inside and make my little fort all snuggly and comfortable, because I just don't want to do anything else in the game when it's all rainy. Oh, I'm squeezing all my tension in my shoulders. Like, oh no. When I feel that, I'm like, nope, gotta relax, because otherwise I'm going to give myself a hunch. Lucky 45th clown. Most of us in the UK don't need to do taxes. I have to send a message to get tax refund, though. I don't know. It's not my favorite thing. Stupid TurboTax. Just saying. Feel like I'm getting ever so off, but it's because I feel off at the top. I can just cut it and then sew on a waistband if it really does bother me. I see that one. I'm not going to take it out. One stitch sewn doesn't bother me. Ah! Getting towards the end. That's why it's deciding to mess up. Okay. I'm making progress, and that's why it's getting quiet, but I'm not complaining because I'm halfway done. Well, I'm almost halfway done. Why do I keep stretching it? Well, it's because there's a stretch in the fabric, and I want to make sure that I keep that stretch and that tension even throughout my stitches, because if I pull it tight, it's going to be funky and it's not going to lay right. So I pull it tight and then I go, keep it even. If you guys are wondering why I keep stretching it, that's what's going on, is I'm really trying to just keep this tension throughout this project, throughout this hem, even. And I'm going to tie off this end and just do it a separate needle and thread for the front and the back, because this is just about to its limit. And lock the stitch in place. Sorry, Toby. Oh, good, I didn't get it. I thought I dropped a pin on him, but I didn't. So, this is what the front looks like. You can see a little bit of a stitch line where the fabric's thicker. See, just an ever so slightly one right there. But overall, it's a whole lot less noticeable than this. So, have to do it on the other side now. I need some sugar. Cheers. I'm already getting twisted and tangled up in this. This is not a good sign. In that case, I'm just going to cut off that knot. Austin Lips. I'm having hamburgers for lunch. That's what I had for lunch yesterday. Oh my gosh, was it a crazy day at the drive-thru yesterday. I almost pulled out my camera to record, but it was just two people having a very crappy day. And I had Toby and Bruno with me. So what happened at the drive-thru? I had to pull forward because they were a little bit back behind at the drive-thru because lunchtime. And so I pulled forward, and there was a homeless lady who was yelling and berating one of the poor employees there. She was very crazy. She left me alone, but that's because I had a Toby and a Bruno with me. And Toby, although he is the biggest sweetheart, I think scares people. And then Bruno doesn't. He thinks he's the scary one. Anyways, she yelled and threatened and kicked the car behind me, but she left my car alone, thankfully. But definitely an eventful drive-through. Yes. Yes. And I hope both of those people have a much better day today than they did yesterday. Yeah. Thank you, Knot Top. In my head, it always says, oh, it's so easy. But then when I have to actually do it, it's like, oh, it's work. But then when it's like, oh, yeah, I can do this, I kind of know what I'm doing. I cut my thread way too long, but oh well. Shh. Big Bob's Wraps. I just had fish and chips for dinner. Ooh, that sounds delicious. There is a Long John Silver's down the street from me, and I have eaten there way too many times that I'm just like, I need some better quality fish and chips. But they used to have Sundays all you can eat. That was definitely an experience. There we go. I may have made this thread way too long. Oh well. I'm much more even with these stitches than I was on the other one. Oh well. It looks good on the other side too, so I'm not complaining. I just kind of get better as I go because I figure it out. Say that, knock on wood, because then make a mistake. But if you make mistakes consistently enough, it's no longer just a mistake, it's a pattern. Story of my life. Yeah, that's why you have the same person stucco a wall, because the same person will make the same kind of mistakes over and over again, and then it's a pattern. Not mistakes, but anyways. Thread. Let me wax it. I like that. Knot top you could call consistent mistakes style. It's a pattern. It's texture. My thread just feels super twisted. Oh. I knew there was a knot in here. I felt it. There it is. That's what I was struggling with. I just broke the thread. I'd rather not deal with the knot. I will just, yeah. Okay. There was a knot in the middle of only one side of the threads, and it got caught every time I pulled it through. Yeah, there it is. And I was like, what am I catching on? It's bothering me. So now it's not there anymore. DJ Stumpy, is there a restaurant in the US that does British fish and chips with mushy peas? Curious. I need to get some to Camden for some pie and mush. It's not the same here in Devonshire. I can't honestly say that I've had English style fish and chips. I think there's a place that looks like it sells it. It has like a tugboat on it, and I've seen it, but I couldn't tell you if it's even close to authentic. I know we have a lot of good food here, but I did make meat pies and peas yesterday for dinner. That was on my brain. I'm going to tie this in a knot. Don't worry, that's just my phone. Okay. I can answer that later. That is actually the person that I'm working with on the builds. Tiny knot to tiny knot. All right, knot is tied. Danda's junk, I'm back. I made it home. Good for you. Congratulations. I'm glad you're safe. Take it easy. Drink lots of water, tea, and meat, or whatever everybody else was telling you to drink. But take it easy. Ooh, Austin Lips. I'm having meatloaf for dinner tonight. Now, question. What do you guys use for your meatloaf filler? Cornflakes, Ritz crackers, or some other substance? My favorite is when Brienne's mom uses Ritz crackers in her meatloaf. That is by far my favorite. Although when I worked at Safeway, I did appreciate all those Safeway meatloaves. Those were really good, but I have no idea what was in them. All right, now that I'm flat again, I can get back on my roll. Big Bob's Prop, never had it. I don't know if you're missing much, honestly. I've had it where it's really good, and I've had it where it's pretty terrible. Side stream. Felicia tries recipes from around the world. I definitely like eating food from around the world. A while ago, like a long time ago, my friends and I we would do, we called it a restaurant club, but it really wasn't a club. We would just go and try a new restaurant, um, different ethnicities or styles. And we always tried to out hole in the wall each other because we would take turns of where we were eating next. Yes, it's been a while since I've done that, but it's also expensive to do that now. But cooking's a lot cheaper. Yeah. Okay. I'm 75% done with this. And I'm going to have to rethread a needle and thread because I lost a lot of this thread to it being knotty. Dun-dun-dun. All right. I'm getting stuff down, so it's getting quiet. I know Spooky's in this room, but I have no idea where he's at. Toby and Bruno are both snoring away right next to me. What's funny is that cat always knows where I'm at and always looks shocked when I see him. He's like, how come you see me? I'm in a shadow spot. Nobody sees me when I'm here. Oh, I got tangled. Okay. Austin Lips. My mom uses onions, bell peppers, and tomatoes and hamburger. Sounds delicious. My mom swore she was allergic to onions. Says she doesn't like them, nothing wants to do with them. When I cook with onions, this is so good. What's your secret? I'll never tell you, Mom, because then you wouldn't eat it. She's really not allergic to onions. She just doesn't like them. My mom is a pickier eater than I am. I'm not picky at all. DJ Stumpy. I've never had meatloaf. Feel I need to look out for a recipe. Whilst on the subject, are grits here in the UK? I don't think I've seen them. I've had grits. Can't say that I don't typically do them savory because I usually eat them for breakfast. Meatloaf, I like using either a crunchy cornflake or a Ritz crackers because they're buttery and delicious and amazing tasting. But I've had it when it's meatloaf where it's really bland, and I do not like bland meatloaf. But I've had it where it's really good, and I do appreciate a good meatloaf sandwich. I think I prefer the meatloaf sandwich better than an actual meatloaf. Look at there. I'm getting there. It's going to be... Let me just tie off this thread right now because that last little bit will be so much easier if I just use a fresh needle and thread. Yes. All right. Dan does so. Guys are making me hungry. Well, at least you're home, Dan. Go to your fridge. Go grab a snack. I'll grab a snack after this. When I make meatloaf, I don't compact the meat. I place it in a tray loose and gently shape it into a loaf. It turns out soft and juicy instead of dense and dry. Technique, I think, definitely does have something to do with it. You can overwork your dough. That makes sense. You know, who would have thought this string we're learning about meatloaf? I don't think I have made it since I have lived at my parents' house, and that's been a very, 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 very long time. I will just go buy it from Safeway because they have it hot and ready and delicious. And when I worked at the deli, I used to have to make those, and they always smelled so good, and I got to put on the ketchup sauce on the tops. So I really do like Safeway deli food. You'd think that after working somewhere, you'd go ew to their food. I really, really like Safeway deli sandwiches. They've changed them up since I've worked there, but the ones they used to have were amazing, amazing. These ones are pretty good. But their chickens are pretty good, and I really do like the meatloaf. Yeah. The deli I worked at had the wok there too, and the Chinese food. Ooh, that was always yummy. This is where I decided that I like jalapeno peppers stuffed with cheddar better than I like the jalapeno poppers stuffed with cream cheese. Always thought I liked the cream cheese better. No, I really, really prefer the cheddar. Right, Bruno? Right. The sauce, I just use ketchup, mustard, and brown sugar. Yeah, ketchup, basically. All right, I'm just going to go from this side and work my way that way. Last little bit. Yeah, let me get this done. I just sewed my hair into it. Last little bit. Ooh, Big Bad Wolf custom airbrushing and decals. Just got an air fryer and wow, chicken wings like crazy good. I've heard about that. My coworkers all have air fryers, and I was just like, I don't want more things on my countertops or appliances to pull out. Do you leave yours on your counters? Yes, because I use it all the time. I really should get an air fryer. It sounds delicious. But I heard that you should get one that's specifically for air frying and not one of those multi-does everything, because then the air frying feature's not as good. But I don't know. I'm Big Bad Wolf custom airbrushing and decals. I know, we had to move the booze, LOL. The counter space. Exactly. But when it gets used all the time, it's a good thing, right? Let me lock this. take all of the pins out. And I have a mini skirt. Ta-da! Anyways. Hooray. And I'm done. So, okay. You guys are definitely making me hungry. It's only been an hour and a half. I got a whole skirt completed. I don't want to do that. If I just did it, it'd be done. I have to put the snaps in. I have to put my closure in to make a belt. I'll make a belt buckle. Let me do that. And then Toby and Bruno are getting all excited like they're moving. You trying to sew, Toby? I think I'll go with this size as my inner circle and then go about a half an inch bigger than that. What am I doing? I'm making a belt buckle right now. Yeah. Not this thin. Big Bob's Brock, the designer who made the first mini skirt, just died yesterday. She's not the first designer. She's just the one who stylized it. That's sad. Well, thank you for giving us such great style. That'll be my inner circle. And then, where's my ruler that I want to use? Hi, Toby, what's going on? This whole thread and needle sitting there on Toby. Put it over here. I don't see the ruler I wanted to use. Oh, I'll just use this one. In a second. I'm just going to do a half-inch ring all the way around this circle. Probably a better way to trace this using a bangle or something. That way it would already be kind of the right size. guys are definitely making me hungry. Bacon and cheese, yum. DJ Stumpy, what will you be making the buckle from? I'm going to make it out of, I'm going to double up the card and probably give like, reinforce it with some, I was thinking of using tape. I'm not 100% sure if I want to at this point. But I'm going to give it covered in velvet. So I'm going to make a base. I'm going to cover it in velvet and then use it to pull through. It'd probably be better if I made it out of plastic. Like a bleach bottle is a great plastic to work with because you can cut it and you can sew it and it is very resilient and heat resistant. But luckily, this isn't a high performance garment. And this should be just fine. Just adding the seam allowance around my circle using a bunch of straight lines. But it works. Bunch of straight lines eventually do make a circle. You guys are definitely making me hungry. Big Bad Wolf custom airbrushing and decals. You need a protractor. Actually, I cut circles like that all the time, like that on the table saw. LOL. Yeah, I have circle tools, but I think this is going to be just fine. Circle. Looks like a circle, right? DJ Stumpley, can Warblite be used for making buckles? I've never used it, but it seems to be a diverse material. I have worked with Warbler once, and I loved it, but I don't think this would be an appropriate material for this. And here's why. The heat of a hairdryer turns it into fruit roll-up. It hardens nicely, but if a heat of a hairdryer can melt the warbler to a workable consistency, if not a fruit roll-up consistency, just imagine a 100-degree day here in Sacramento. Like, it's cool and all, but I just feel like it's too fragile of a material for this. In all reality, a bleach bottle. That plastic's great. It might have a curve to it. You can flatten it out. There's a lot of plastics you can harvest. But yeah. I'm wondering, because I know I have those penny cutting scissors. I could just cut it out of metal. Probably not worth it. Big Bad Wolf custom airbrush and decals. Hey, your longer your uploads, the better. Keeps me from doing housework. LOL. I'm trying. Honestly, what gives me comfort is knowing that if I didn't live stream while I was doing this, this project would honestly be done by now. But yeah, this weekend I'm going to figure out that circle skirt. Like, I have it all ready to go. It's just too big to live stream. I don't know. I feel guilty working on it, not on the live stream, because that one's really fun, but also it's just huge. And I'm ready for it to be done. What am I stuck on? Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters. Do, 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 do. Have that on my head, brain right now. Okay, so let me just find a little scrap of yellow. My scrap bin's right over here. Oh, sorry, Toby, didn't mean to step on your foot. Yellow, yellow, yellow. That scrap's too small. That scrap's too small. The scraps in my scrap bin got shredded over Easter decorating, so my scraps are too small. Oh well. Big Bag Wolf custom airbrushing and decal. Yeah, we keep interrupting you, but that's the fun part. I like the company while I'm working. Bruno, why are you crying? Oh, I can't use these scissors. Not Topple. Thanks for streaming this project. It'll be cool. And also have an archive of the process from the previous streams. Yep. Yeah. Kind of realize how much work everything takes, but also at the same time, there is a comfort knowing that it doesn't actually take me that long. But I did complete an entire skirt today. From numbers to a finished product. Yay. I know it's a mini one, but I'll take it. Toby, you're talking. He's over here being all funky. Okay. Okay. I need sticky stuff. Hi, Bruno. I have spray glue. I don't want to use spray glue. I'd rather use hot glue. You know what? I think I'll use hot glue. I may regret that just because it is bulky, but I can hide the bulk to the back. What, Toby? Contact cement. Skittles. Don't worry, it was in a pack in there. Aha. What's wrong, Toby? Okay. I think this will work. Okay. Now that's a glue gun. I love this glue gun. My favorite glue gun is, however, the little one over there, but I like this one too. So previously, somebody had asked me what the difference between contact cement and rubber cement was, like, and I really couldn't tell you, but now that I've worked with this rubber cement for a while, I can tell you exactly what it is. This rubber cement doesn't hold as well as the contact cement. This is more for documents. It works great with fabric. It works great with photographs, with like fine paper, like because it rubs off. And I'm glad that iron was off, Toby. And also with contact cement, you're supposed to let both sides dry and then stick them together, where it does work for rubber cement, specifically on this label right here. If I actually read it, it says, excellent for mounting photos, cut and paste jobs, and repairs. For easily removable bonds, brush and coat one surface and join immediately. To remove, peel gradually starting at the edge. For a stronger bond, evenly coat both surfaces and then press wet surfaces together. Excess cement rubs off easily once it's dried. What, Bruno? So, for a better bond with rubber cement, you put it together wet. For a better bond with contact cement, you do multiple layers of letting it dry. So I do like working with this with fabric, but contact cement works way better for actual, like I want to stick things together. Bib Bad Wolf custom airbrushing and decals taught myself and my wife how to knit and made all Tom Baker's doctor versions of his scarves. Oh, nice. See, I like learning how to make projects for projects like that push my skill levels. I learned how to knit to make Hobbs a little scarf and other various projects. Toby is getting so jealous that Bruno's getting pets right now. Like, I'm almost done, guys. Just give me a second, okay? Let me go spray this right over here so I'm not making a mess. Okay. I don't want to remake that mistake. I've done that once on this project. I don't need to do it again. Toby and Bruno have no patience today. I don't want sticky stuff on these. Ooh, that sounds like a fun project. The Bad Wolf custom airbrushing and decals is going to try and tackle some TARDIS teapot cozies. Spooky, are they bugging you? Toby and Bruno have collectively ganged up on me and said it's time to go. They really did. They have gotten Spooky gathered, herded to the door, and they are all standing at the door going, it's time to go. Bruno sneezing over there. So I will not be going live this weekend. I do plan on cutting out my skirt this weekend. I've said that before. So we'll see if it actually happens. But I do have to get this project done. I have to do closures in the belt for this guy because I finished its skirt. For the pink one, I have the skirt, but the closures are finished. And both of them have their ties. So we're getting there. DJ Stumpy. Yeah, if I had that glue gun, Sod's Law would come along and it would be too hot for the glass just because Sod's Law does not like me having an easy time. I don't ever put this thing above the low setting. Like there is no need for it to be high. Like it is a constant heat. So the other glue gun that I have, it's not variable heat, although I kind of secretly wish it would. I control the heat by just not plugging it in. But this one you can control the heat because the power's always on. This is the other one I have. This glue gun. You put it in its little thing, which is not over here, it's upstairs. But I love this one, but it doesn't have a control of the heat. You have to just plug it in or leave it unplugged until it's cooled off enough. But yeah. All right, I am going to stab it here. So I've done this where I've sewn it around. It works best with vinyl if you sew it instead of doing the gluing. But I don't think this velvet's gonna sew the way vinyl does. So I'm just gonna glue it. Yeah, that's my plan. Start with the innards. Now you just smoosh it and you smoosh it and you smoosh it. Look so happy. Bad Wolf Custom Airbrushing. That Elmer's contact hold good? No. But it holds very smooth and great for fabric. But I would not say that it is a great hold. It is a lightweight hold. It's very good for delicate documents and working with fabric. And kind of my technique for doing it with this fabric is that I'm using it in combination with the spray glue on the fabric and the contact cement on, well, the rubber cement on the card. And between the two of them, they make a good hold that is not goopy and doesn't leave stains on the fabric, because this fabric is very sensitive to stains from the watermarks from the glue and such. Yeah, I think I'll do the hot glue for this edge. Let me trim these down a little bit more. I love how Bruno's sitting right next to Spooky, like right behind him, just whining like he can do something. That battery may be dead. DJ Stumpy, I need to work out how to make the Wiggles big red car for my daughter's wheelchair. I've done a Batmobile before using cardboard from Aldi, so shouldn't be too hard once I figure out the pattern. Yeah, cardboard is your friend. If you can get the cardboard that goes between the pallets of the paper towels, that stuff is really good. Large pieces that are lightweight. Just getting a little more sticky stuff because these don't seem to be sticking as good. And I'm really not worried about getting glue or paint on this table because it wipes up easily, but I shouldn't. Yeah, there's not enough glue in that. But I'll hot glue the back piece on. I don't have to worry about all the lumps and bumps on the back because it's all lumpy and bumpy and it'll be on the back. But does this fabric cut tear straight or grain? I believe I've cut it. Okay. Bad Wolf Custom Airbrushing and Decaling. Okay, thing mini back capes going to run wires into the seams. Don't want to sew, learning towards hem tape. Don't want to sew, leaning towards hem tape, double sides. How big are we talking? Are we talking, you say mini back capes. Are they for like mini figures for like, I do not like what doing that did to the fabric. Let me steam this out. Oh, it's gonna be fine. Anyways, I'm gonna finish this belt. Basically, it's gonna go around like I have to finish the edges, but I don't know if I like the circle. Maybe I should go for a square. I don't know. Stay still, girl. Stay. Okay. Anyways. I have to steam this. I have to then finish the edges. Dan does junk. Would a triangle work? I actually was thinking about a triangle this morning, so maybe it might. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Rick Aid Live Good, however, best me is a double for. Austin Lips, I'm typing on my PS4. Sorry, it takes a while to get comments from changing my phone. No worries. Big Bad Wolf decals. Okay, thanks. Mini back capes going to run wires and seams. Don't want to sew, leaning towards hem tape, double side. I can see that, but let me, what size is it? Because I could probably give you better. 7-inch figures. So I've made full-size back capes for Batman, and instead of putting in wire, we use dowels so that when you go like this, it makes it stiff and holds the back cape up. So I would consider using skewers. It's not as posable as wire, so I understand why wire would work, and I'm not saying don't use wire, but also throwing out the suggestion of using skewers for mini tiny dowels. You don't have to sew. Yes, you can use hem tape. It's stitch witchery. It's just basically like using glue. It's a heat sensitive glue, and you can actually use real glue. It's a valid way of sewing. So if you wanted to make the mini capes, you could totally use real glue, fabric glue, spray glue, stitch witchery, which is a heat sensitive glue. Or yeah, it's like a tape that you just iron in, but those all work. But yes, yeah, 7 inches, that's a good little figure, because you could do, Batman is a circle. His cape is a circle, at least a half circle, if not a full circle. So it's not a rectangle. Like if you want Batman to do this, it's a circle. So yes. Dan does junk, but a triangle work. I kind of like the idea of a triangle. I'm going to think about it for a minute. It may not even end up with the belt. We'll see. Austin Lips, good job, Felicia, on the dress today. How's your day going today? It's going well. I'm making progress. A little worse before it gets better. Not top. How much of this project is your idea? That's the hard part. It really is. I was given a direction, but a lot of these decisions I've just been making. I'm going to probably talk to the other artist involved after the stream, because they texted me during the stream going, how's it going? So it is definitely a collaborative project, but I am making a lot of the executive decisions or things like that, but also am taking into consideration the other person, what their vision into this. So it is hard to say. Like, I can't take 100% credit for sure. That's the problem with being a seamstress. Although you are creating somebody else's vision, you still have a lot of yourself that you put into projects. DJ Stumpy, all these projects on a checklist. Felicia, what is your next project checklist? I have so many, but we'll see. The next project I'm going to do live streaming is I'm going to dissect a suit. So that's the next live stream that we're going to do. It's not going to be one stream. It'll probably be too many. But Big Bad Wolf custom airbrushing and decals. Well, I'm out. You all have a great weekend. I'm about to be out too, because I think I'm at a good stopping spot. I made a mini skirt. I have the other skirt to do and my closures for this poor girl so she can stay together. But thank you. Thank you guys for joining me. And I just realized that I have this thing set to talk chat, not live chat, so I don't necessarily see everybody's comments in order. Oops. Oh, well. So I am not going to be streaming for the rest of this weekend. I'll probably be finishing up the last of the details of this project on Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, I just got to finish up the last of these little strings before it is time to go. Yeah, I have some parts of this that I'm still braining and chewing on and figuring out. but we'll be live, however, on Odin Makes channel. Odin Makes over on YouTube. Now say goodbye. Yeah. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for the company. I know it stretches out the project, but it makes it more fun and memorable. And like you said, I'll have a proof of the record of all the work I've done. Thank you, 45th Clown. Great stream. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Not top. Woohoo, good job. We're still waiting for that tic-tac tie. That tactical tie. Yes. That might have to wait till we do the suit and we dissect the tie. Anyways, thank you guys. All right, Bruno, we're out. We're out. Okay. Bye. And end stream. And oh.